0 to 60 in under 2 seconds is what they're promising. 1,025 horsepower. You've got adequate range at a price tag of just under $130,000.
Hey, I'm Steven and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So as I record this, we are just a few hours away from Tesla's Plaid Model S delivery event. In this video, I'll be looking at some of the mainstream finance media coverage leading up to the event, sharing my thoughts and opinions, speculating about some potential and one more things, and a whole lot more. So let's get into the video. And by the way, since I know there's a lot of crypto lovers watching and people who like free stuff, it's your lucky day. For a limited time, you can get up to $250 in free crypto bonuses when funding a new account on BlockFi, where you can use cryptocurrency to earn interest, borrow cash, and buy or sell crypto. If you want your free crypto, use the link in the description. It also helps out the channel. And if you'd like up to 2 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $250 just for opening an account. And if you fund your account with $100, you'll get a second free stock valued up to $1,600. Unless you don't like free stocks, that is. And if you're in Australia, the UK, or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake, also using the link in the description. Let's get back to it.
Kelly, the exterior of the Tesla Model S Plaid the first delivery is taking place tonight out in Fremont, California. It's not a whole lot different than the other Tesla Model S's that are currently being sold. Where you really notice the difference? Under the hood with the battery and the acceleration, as well as in terms of the interior. 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds is what they're promising. 1,025 horsepower. You've got adequate range at a price tag of just under $130,000. And then there is the interior. Now, this is getting a fair amount of attention. They have improved it.
Now, is it just me, or is there a koala face in that yoke steering wheel? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'm just a little bit high. But in all seriousness, it almost looks as if there's the potential for the steering wheel to retract as well. This would tie in very closely with the recent video I made suggesting that Tesla is on the cusp of solving autonomy. The fact that they're talking about gaming from any seat in the Model S with wireless controllers, any seat, including the driver's seat, a really big sign. The fact that Tesla's now officially removing radar from their hardware stack, also relying on pure vision, very, very bullish. So I think we're on the cusp of autonomy. I don't know for sure, but I get the feeling that Tesla's really, really setting up the new Model S to be a fully autonomous vehicle.
By adding, look at that, a yoke. The steering yoke will have a lot of people talking, saying, look, I feel like I'm in the cockpit flying this thing. They also have enhanced infotainment options that include karaoke.
Yeah, that's awkward. I don't know how high the producers are at CNBS here, but 2019 called. Yeah, September 26, 2019, introducing software version 10. Karaoke, our new karaoke feature. So CNBS, they're about 2 years off the pace, completely failing to mention the PS5 console gaming quality computer inside the Tesla for gaming in the vehicle. Yeah, let's just talk about the 2-year-old karaoke, whatever.
So if you were to buy one, Kelly, you could do karaoke within your Tesla Model S Plaid. As you take a look at shares of Tesla, remember, we have not seen an Elon Musk event streamed like this in some time. I think the Cybertruck might have been the last one. There might have been another one since then. These are the types of events typically that really get Tesla fans going, in part because A, they hear from Elon Musk, and B, there is always an energy at these events that no other automaker has been able to match. And we'll see if that's the case tonight when they do the delivery event for the Tesla Model S Plaid.
Sounds like a fun party, a karaoke party in the new car, Phil. But I actually wanted to ask about that steering wheel. I just assumed it was a federal requirement for them all to be round. I mean, there must literally be, you know, hey, they have to be this many inches by this many inches and allow you to grip in this many locations. There are a lot of regulations. Could we see this come to all car models in the future?
Well, it depends. Do people want it? I mean, look, we are headed towards a future where you will theoretically see vehicles with no steering wheel.
So seriously, huge round of applause here to Phil LeBeau for actually knowing what's coming. I think most people in CNBS and the rest of the mainstream finance media simply refuse to even consider the idea that fully autonomous vehicles will be deployed on roads anytime soon. Phil is acknowledging this fact. Tesla's talked about ultimately removing steering wheels from their vehicle as well. I think this yoke steering wheel is almost the first step. And again, there's a possibility, I'm not sure about this, just speculation, but the possibility it may actually retract once autonomy is solved, get the wheel out of the way. That'd be awesome.
Though that is a regulation that will have to be ultimately approved by federal authorities. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see an evolution when it comes to steering wheels. And I think that people are looking at this and they're saying, is it for me? Maybe for a lot of people it's not, but I think for those people who are attracted to that yoke, I think they cannot wait to get a chance to get in and drive the Plaid, because it's not just the yoke, Kelly. It's that 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds.
Yes, fair enough. Although I usually drive with my hands in that kind of lower position, but it's the turn that I can't quite wrap my head around. Maybe I'll get a chance to try it out one day. Phil, thank you so much, sir. Phil LeBeau with the latest on Tesla.
Yeah, so it's a big day for Tesla. We don't get many new product announcements from a car company. So we're expecting the launch of Tesla's all-new Plaid Model S, which is the fastest production car ever made, over 1,000 horsepower, 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds. But it's being overshadowed, I think, by the companies canceling what was supposed to be the top-end car, the Plaid Plus.
I'm not sure these comments are going to age particularly well. We'll find out in a few hours' time at the event. I have a funny feeling that Tesla's going to be dramatically over-delivering on the promised specifications of the Plaid Model S. That would relate very closely to Elon's tweet recently suggesting that they're cancelling the Plaid Plus because the Plaid S is just so good. My prediction, and this is pure speculation, I suspect we're probably going to see a range of 420 miles, maybe even more. I'd be surprised if it's close to 500, but hey, I'd be happily surprised if that's the case, but I really don't think that's necessary. Most people, as per the data, not really using that range without stopping to recharge anyway, so it's kind of superfluous. It's a total waste of battery cells, and given the fact that the performance of this is still the fastest production vehicle ever, I really don't think the cancellation of the Plaid Plus is going to overshadow this event. I think the automotive industry, not just electric but internal combustion, that includes supercars and hypercars, and the mainstream finance media is going to be ranting and raving about this vehicle, the yoke steering wheel, the in-car gaming, the acceleration, the top speed, the quarter mile time, the performance, and everything. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everybody walks away from the Plaid Model S event really disappointed that the Plaid Plus wasn't there as well, but I doubt it. Something that could, however, overshadow the Plaid Model S, but still I do hope that it happens, would be an update on the Tesla Roadster. In fact, what I really hope for, what I'm dreaming about, at least in one of the versions of the simulation, I would love to see the Tesla Roadster make an appearance with the SpaceX package, using the cold gas thrusters to either do a hover or a 0 to 60 in about 1.1 seconds. That would be a really nice. And one more thing. I'm not sure this is going to happen. It would take a little bit of the sheen off the Tesla Model S Plaid, but hey, I can hope.
Elon Musk, as he typically does, in a tweet just unceremoniously canceled it about 2 days ago before the car was set to debut. So a lot of questions surrounding what this new Plaid Model S is going to be. It's really the first redesign of the Model S since it debuted back in 2012. We got a new interior. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a brand new steering wheel. It's called the yoke steering wheel. You usually see it in race cars. They've also redesigned a lot of the software to sort of fit inside of this brand new supercar.
I can't take away how very cool they try to make these, right? I peeked in a few Teslas. They have a display. First of all, it's sort of newer to me to actually see a Tesla storefront with all the Teslas out front. And I saw this in Long Island now for the very first time just recently. And I was peeking in the cars, and it's like you're in outer space, right? I mean, you're talking about this yoke wheel, and the dashboard is all tech, right?
I mean, it's a computer on wheels, and Tesla's been able to sort of encompass that cool factor for so many years. But there's a lot of competition coming right now. So the Plaid Plus that got canceled is supposed to be their first car that gets to 500 miles of range. They don't have that anymore. A company actually was founded by Tesla's former engineer on the Model S called Lucid is launching their Lucid Air later on this year with a 500-mile range and luxury features. So Tesla's going to have a lot of competition for mind share, market share, sort of in that luxury EV space.
Whoa, hold your horses there, buddy. Lucid hasn't reached volume production. They haven't actually reached any production of their vehicle yet. So all we're hearing about so far is promised specifications. Now, that being said, I hope that Lucid could deliver on the goods, but the Lucid Air is not competing with Tesla vehicles, okay? Lucid is aiming for the absolute top end, the pinnacle, the luxury market, the people that are willing to pay an enormous premium to have unicorn tears inside their washer fluid and woolly mammoth pubes as stitching in the seats. This is not the market that Tesla's going for. Keep in mind, given the higher purchase price of the Lucid Air, it's definitely possible that they could achieve greater range than Tesla by using different materials, even more lightweight, even though they may cost an enormous amount more. But this is not competition for Tesla. People need to understand this. Lucid isn't competing with Tesla. Maybe in the future one day, if they're getting to the point where they're producing millions of vehicles at a reasonable price point. But at this point in time, Lucid is not competing with Tesla. They're not playing in the same arena. They're not on the same field. It's not competition. Certainly the Lucid Air has some great supposed specifications, but it's not competing with Tesla. They're totally different markets.
It's interesting because I see that you said Elon Musk said that the Plaid Plus wasn't needed because the Plaid is so good. And the reality is their new battery tech wasn't ready, and that's why they canceled it. How important is this announcement with the Model S today?
It's a pretty big announcement, I think. It's also coinciding with the Model S and the Model X. But like you just alluded to, the Plaid Plus was supposed to be Tesla's brand new sort of debut of their new battery tech. And you don't necessarily think about it when you look at the car. They're supposed to be these brand new cells. They're called the 4680. It was an all new design. The battery's supposed to be actually part of the structure of the car. And clearly that wasn't ready.
Now, I suspect he's right here, but in either case, this is actually incredibly bullish. Either Tesla has somehow, without using the 4680 cells and the structural battery pack, somehow managed to reduce weight and squeeze out that additional performance and range using the old cell format. Or, and I'm giving this pretty low odds, but this is the other outcome, Tesla turns up at the event and goes, surprise bitches, the 4680 cells are in the Plaid Model S. We sandbagged you motherfuckers. In either case, this is very, very bullish. Just think about the performance increase in the future when Tesla has the 4680 cells, or if on the odd chance they're already integrated, that means they're well ahead of schedule and they're already integrating this technology in their flagship product. It's a win-win scenario.
But without, at least thus far, any explanation as to why it was canceled.
Not to nitpick too much here, but what? There was an explanation. I guess this guy isn't one of the 50-something million people following Elon Musk on Twitter. Plaid Plus is cancelled. No need, as Plaid is just so good. AKA, it's so close to what the Plaid Plus specs were going to be, there's no point. It's a superfluous product. I guess maybe it would have helped the guy out a little bit if Elon had worded the tweet slightly differently. Plaid Plus is cancelled because Plaid is just so good. Maybe then he would have understood that that was the explanation.
Tesla decided to just go with a tri-motor version of the Model S. So it's a very important car for Tesla. I think just from a straight up mindshare perspective, it's not a high volume car anymore. The Model 3 and the Model Y are clearly those cars. But it is kind of what gets people to go look at a Tesla, to go to a Tesla showroom. They've seen it on the road. They've seen the tech. And it gets people interested, I think, in the brand who maybe hadn't been before.
Right. You know, and you think about it being somewhat generational, you know, young folks, obviously, so savvy. Tesla seems like second nature to them. You take maybe our parents or aunts and uncles, it may seem a little out of the norm for them. But there is incredible competition. You mentioned Lucid, which Lucid, you said, poses a real threat to Tesla long term.
What? Now, guys, I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. The way that my brain works is like somebody can permanently disqualify themselves for ever being taken seriously again in my eyes from just a single statement. I'm not sure. Maybe she's misquoting him. He's about to jump in and say, listen, idiot, I didn't say that. But if not, if he's actually suggesting that Lucid could pose a serious threat to Tesla, they could be legitimate competition over the long term, he's disqualified himself from ever having me take him seriously ever again. Let's see how he follows up with this. What a joke.
And we know that Ford has now made a real dedicated investment to EVs and so on and so forth. Does Tesla stay as the leader, though, just because they came out in front early on and that's what people know?
Yeah, Tesla is clearly the leader in technology. I mean, even the Model S that came out in 2012, over-the-air software updates, we are now, over the past 2 years, so now well over a decade later, seeing car manufacturers catch up to what Tesla was offering back then. But the delta is, it's getting smaller, I think, year by year. BMW has got their new iX coming out and a new i4 with technology that appears to at least rival what Tesla is doing. So I think for the next few years, Tesla is still going to have the lead, but these competitors are getting really close and getting really good.
Well, he didn't correct her, which seems to suggest that she was right in suggesting that he'd implied that Lucid could pose a serious threat to Tesla in the future. What planet are you on, dude? As for the competition, certainly, if you don't have an electric vehicle and then you produce an electric vehicle, you've technically closed the gap on Tesla, so I admit there's some truth in that. But the so-called competition at this point, it's not even in the same league. No point even considering it to be competition. Now, that could change in the future, but Tesla today still does not have any competition for price, performance, and more importantly, from the business point of view, from profitability behind the scenes. See, let's say you're Ford or GM, and you make a vehicle and you price it comparable to, say, a Tesla Model Y, similar specs, not quite as good, similar performance, not quite as good, but fairly similar, and a similar price point, except Tesla's making a $15,000 profit on each vehicle they sell, and you're losing $15,000 on each vehicle you sell. not a sustainable business model. So this is an illusion a lot of people are going to fall into. They're going to think, oh wow, this particular vehicle from this automaker is actually not too bad. It's getting pretty close to Tesla. But they fail to recognize that behind the scenes, Tesla's the only company that's making any profit whatsoever. This is an important factor that a lot of people are going to overlook in the short term. It'll become a little bit more obvious when a lot of these automakers start going bankrupt one after the other. Now, some of you might be thinking, Stephen, dude, you are so arrogant. That's actually true. Of course the competition is going to catch up to Tesla. They just need a few more years to iron out the kinks in their processes totally. Now, I understand where that argument's coming from, but you need to think a little bit harder. I know it might hurt, but thinking a little bit more is actually important in this case. See, Tesla's pace of innovation matters. We've seen in just a couple of years, they've pioneered the octavalve heat pump. They've now got the gigantic gigacasting. They've got further iterations of that. Soon, they're going to be making the front in a single cast piece, the rear in a single cast piece, and the battery pack in a single integrated unit as well. Okay? There's no other automakers even attempting to do this today, and Tesla continues to innovate, find new ways to do more with less. So what matters more than where the competition is today and where Tesla is today is how fast is Tesla and the competition innovating? How quickly are they developing new techniques to do more with less, to speed up their manufacturing processes, to reduce their costs, to delete parts and processes? That is what matters. That's what's going to allow Tesla to maintain, if not extend their lead into the future. And now for some rampant speculation and pseudo predictions. Now for the record, I don't think any of these are likely or probable, but I do think every single one of these scenarios is possible. And these are in no particular order. First of all, I won't be surprised if Tesla announces the ability to mine cryptocurrency with some of the spare compute in the new Model S. After all, we have console quality gaming GPUs inside the vehicle. Those are wonderful for mining cryptocurrency. I also wouldn't be astonished if Tesla puts the Model S Plaid out on their demo track, then puts on autonomous mode and allows all 4 occupants of the vehicle to play games using wireless controllers while the vehicle drives itself around the track. Now again, I'm not saying this will happen, but if it did, I wouldn't be ultra surprised. I also won't be astonished if we see the Tesla Roadster making an appearance with the SpaceX package, yes, using the cold gas thrusters, maybe doing a little bit of a hover or a 0 to 60 run, but more likely than that, I think slightly higher probability is some updated information on when the Roadster will actually begin deliveries. However, this would be a high risk decision from Tesla as it's likely to take some of the sheen off the Plaid Model S. What I'm really dreaming and hoping of, and as we know, hope is not a strategy, but what I'd love to see, one more thing, the big surprise, the $25,000 Tesla, an announcement of when production and deliveries will begin, maybe the ability for customers to make pre-orders. Now again, I don't rate this as a high probability, but of all the things Tesla could possibly do, to me, if it's ready, this would make the most logical sense. A $25,000 Tesla is not even close to the same performance as a Plaid Model S. It's not going to take any sheen off the Plaid Model S, whereas debuting or showing off the Roadster again would. Obviously, cryptocurrency mining from a Tesla is a bit of a stretch over the long term. Tesla is going to get involved in this space, but I don't think this is likely either. And I also think that gaming while the vehicle is completely autonomous, we're not quite there yet. So I think the most likely thing for Tesla to do, and I still don't think it's an ultra high probability, but it's possible, would be to begin accepting pre-orders for their $25,000 vehicle, or at the very least provide us with an update on when production and deliveries are expected. And the final possibility, which is what I'm really hoping for, is Tesla surprises even me with something that nobody saw coming. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think will be the one more thing, if anything? I'm Stephen Mark Ryan, this is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget, if you'd like up to $250 in free crypto bonuses with BlockFi, use the link in the description. You can also get 2 free stocks with WeBull and a free stock with Stake, also linked in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.